Okay, where am I? I don't even know where I am. Oh, I'm here on page 740. Says 740. 740. Is that the right page? Yes, I think it is. All set to go. We start off with some easy ones. Let's go to number one. If you're not there, pause it so you can catch up to us. Here we go. Try it by yourself first. Go ahead. You don't have to pause it now. Just try it. It's pretty easy. Okay. Which shape has fewer than four sides? Well, only one shape can have fewer than four sides. If it has fewer than four sides, it must have how many? What's fewer than four? Más chiquito que cuatro. Tres. Three sides. And what shape has three sides? A triangle. That. It only has three. One, two, three, four. This has four. It's equal. Four. It's equal. Four. It's equal. We want fewer than four would be three, a triangle. Use an inch ruler. What is the length of the pencil to the nearest inch? See if you can find. You better pause it if you have to go look for your template that has the ruler on it. Okay, did you get a ruler? Did you find your ruler? Okay. Let me see. I know Jocelyn doesn't have a ruler. Well, maybe she has it now, but she left it in her folder, so she probably doesn't have one. Anyway, when you want to measure inches, you have to make sure you use inches. Now, these here, I don't know if you can see, these little ones are centimeters. That's the wrong one. We want inches. These big ones are inches, and I think it even says it right there, doesn't it? Inch. It says an inch. So I'm going to put the beginning line right there where the beginning of the eraser is. How far is it? All the way to the, can you see mine if you don't see yours? 6. Mine is 6 inches. Did you get 6 inches too? Good, then you know how to use a ruler. Of course, if you use the centimeters, it's going to say 15. But that doesn't say centimeters, it says inches. So you have to use the inches. Inches is 6. They're bigger than centimeters. Go ahead, do number 3. Very, very simple. If you know how to read. Very simple. Did you look at the table first to see what the table shows? Here it says favorite sport. Here are the sports: soccer, basketball, football, baseball. Tallies. How many like them? What is the question? Use the tally chart. How many children chose basketball as their favorite sport? Not baseball, basket. See how there's a K there and a T? That's this one, basketball, not baseball. So you got a 5 and a 2. What's a 5 and a 2? Did you get 7? 7? Yep, 7. That was also very simple. Now, you ready for some hard work? Okay, I hope you have your ruler ready. We're going to be using our ruler. It says put several color tiles together. Trace around the color tiles to draw a two-dimensional shape. Well, I don't know where these little colored tiles are. I think in some kit there must be these little tiny squares of color that you can put together to make bigger rectangles with them. All these little squares. They're good for measuring how big a shape is, how big a rectangle or a square or any other shape like that is. Okay, so we're going to try making a shape here, and then we're going to try measuring how big it is. We're going to measure its area. Okay, what I want you to do is take your ruler, put it towards the bottom of the page. Make sure it's not going up, not going down, kind of straight along your page. Right? See my inches here? I want the inches, not the centimeters. Don't get the centimeters, the little ones. We're going to use the inches. And we're going to make a line that's 5 inches long. So when I got my ruler nice and straight, I'm going to start at the beginning, the 0 line, because that's 1, so this must be 0. I'm going to draw it. I'm trying to do it so you can see it all the way up to the 5, and I'm going to stop right at the 5. Here's my 5. That's where I started, right? And before I take away my ruler, I'm going to do this. See where the 1 is? The line by the 1. I'm going to put a mark there. The line by the 2, not at the 2, this big line next to the 2. The big line next to the 3, and the big line next to the 4. I'm going to put little dots there, right? Now, I'm going to turn I want to make it into a rectangle, so I'm going to make a line going straight up. I don't want to be slanted. I don't want to be slanted that way. I want to go straight up, and I want to make it about 3 inches. So I'm going to start the 3 here, and once I know my ruler's straight, I have to draw all the way up to the, not the 1, I have to go to the 0 line, which is right there. I'm going to go right down to the 3. You can start at the 3. You can start down here and go up or go the other way. So there's my line going up. And before I take it away, I'm going to put at the 1 line, I'm going to put a dot, and at the 2 line, I'm going to put a dot. I can also put one at the 0 dot. Doesn't matter. Okay, now I'm going to go up here now where this one ends. Well, you know what? I'm going to make one on this side too. I'm going to make one on this side. Now, I could actually start at the 4. If I start at the 4, I only want to go to the 1, because 4 take away 1 is 3. Remember, I want a 3-inch line. That was 3 inches. So I want to go 3 inches. I could start at the 4, but then I would only go to the 1, because 4 take away 1 is 3. Look, 1, 2, 3. But just to make it easier on you guys, I'm going to start at the 3 line. I make sure it's not bent. It's got to be straight up. And I'm going to draw a line up to my beginning line there, my 0 line, I call it. Not quite the beginning of the ruler. This ruler doesn't have the, often the 0 line is the beginning of the ruler. This one, it's moved in a little bit. And again, I want to put those dots. So I'm going to move over a little. I'm going to put a dot at the top, a dot at the 1 line, and a dot at the 2 line. Right? Now I got one more line to do. I'm going to put a line on the top. And this line also should be about 5. Make sure it's flat and straight. And then I'm going to go starting here, and I'm going to make a line that's 5. And I'm even going to move down a little and make lines here too. Right at the 4 line, right at the 3 line, right at the 2 line, right at the 1 line. Now, if you're not sure, oh, you couldn't even see me do that. If you're not sure how I was doing that, you could pause the video to watch and see where I did it. So now I got this beautiful rectangle I made, right? And I've got these little dots. Does this remind you of a paper we did already this year? Remember when we had to connect the dots to make little squares? Remember we did that? Well, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to see how big this rectangle is. We're going to see how many 1-inch squares it would take to fill it up. So, how do I want to do this? Okay, I'll do down first. I'm going to go here and start every dot I see at the top. I'm going to match it with the dot at the bottom. Not like that. With the one straight down. So here's a dot and there's a dot. The dots I put right at the edge, and then I connect the dots. Here's another one. Here's another one here. So what I'm making is I'm making columns. These are called columns going down. Okay, I made my columns. Now I want to connect these horizontal lines, right? So I got a line up here. Well, maybe I'll let you catch up. You could always pause it to catch up, right? That would be a good way to catch up. And some of you guys don't know how to pause your video. Okay, here I go. I'm going to take these 2 dots and match them up by making a nice straight line. You got to make sure your ruler doesn't move when you're drawing on it. Okay, and then I'm going to do one here. So what I ended up doing is making all these little squares. Each of these squares, by the way, is 1 inch by 1 inch. These are called 1-inch squares. And I've got 3 rows 1, 2, 3, and each row has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares. So we got a 5, and a 5. How much is 5 and 5 and 5? 5, 10, 15. 15 square. Sometimes they say square inches, and sometimes they say inch squares. 15 square inches. That's the area of that big rectangle, because it would take 15 of these little squares or tiles to fill up the rectangle. So there we are, boys and girls. We are done doing that. See if you can come up with something like that and send me a picture. I want to see how you guys did on this. You have to be very careful to get it done. Okay, that's it for now. We will try some more tomorrow in class. Goodbye, guys.